Hey guys, welcome to this shot walkthrough of this Ghost in the Shell futuristic kind of mood I've got here. I want to walk you through what I've done in Photoshop here to treat this image and come up with the final result. So I'm not going to go through the individual techniques. There's plenty of other videos on the channel that will cover things like focus stacking and vignettes and color grading that I'm going to mention in this video. This is more just to give you an overview of how I've put those things together to come up with a final image. So if you want to learn about specific things, then I'll provide links in the description for this video below where you can go and learn about the techniques. But this is really just to give you an overview of how I go about treating an image like this. So at the bottom, I've got the kind of base image off the camera. Now, first thing to say is this is already a composite shot of 3 other images. So what I did when I shot this was I took 3 different images with different focal points. I can't remember what aperture I shot this at. It was pretty closed down, maybe about f16, f18, something around there. But I ended up focusing on the face, kind of the chest area and the hip here. I didn't focus any further down because I wanted all this kind of leg area out of focus, as you can see. And then I've combined those using focus stacking. So the entire top half of her torso is in focus. You can see the images I've used for that composite here. So I've got this one, and this one. And if you look carefully, you can see on the first one, I think that's kind of the midriff area, chest area that's in focus there. If I go to this one, that's more the waist. You can see the face is completely out of focus. And then the last one, the face is in focus. So those 3 images are what I used to do the focus stack. Can't see it here, but there was another image as well. And what that had was different kind of bokeh lights in the background. So you can see all 3 of these have got these green sort of bokeh lights. And so what I also did was used another one to get the blue ones in there as well. What these are fairy lights, and the way these fairy lights were working when I was taking the shoot was they kind of intermittently switch every couple of seconds from a kind of green and yellow set to a blue and red set. So it just so happened I only got the blue ones in the shot. And so I really wanted to get both, so I've just used another shot that had the blue ones in focus and composited those in as well. But essentially everything you're seeing here is out of camera. It's just a focus stack to get the figure in shot and then just bring in some of the other lighting from some of the other shots. And so that's the base I'm working off for this shoot. Now, the first thing I want to do is kind of accentuate this flaring that I've got in the bottom right-hand corner. So you can see this beautiful kind of purple flaring. So the way I did that was just simply grab a paintbrush and dump on a little dab of purple paint in the bottom corner there, and then you can see I've just set that to a screen blend mode in Photoshop, and that just brings that sort of color toning up and spreads it into the legs and the light area here. Then I do my color grading. Usually I do a kind of quite a lot of color grading. With this photo, I've actually done very little in terms of the grade because it's so saturated and it's got such rich colors. Grading didn't really do much for it. But what I did do, if we just look at this bottom layer where I've applied a grade, is if I just toggle it on and off, you can see I've just changed the hue of the sort of top region of the image just to kind of blend it into a bit more of an aqua tone. So you move from sort of a more cold green color tone up the top down into this sort of warmer, blue purpley tone down the bottom. The other thing that color grade does is it just brings out her hair a little bit, so it brings up some of the tone in the shadows, so that becomes a bit more visible. If I just toggle it on and off again, you can just see that happening. And you can see I've got a layer mask there, so that grade is only applied to kind of the top left-hand area of the image. Then I do my normal dodging and burning. So I put the burning on, dodge on, just to bring out the highlights, deepen some of the shadow areas, as I always do. That's the grade. So if I toggle the entire grade off, you can see what that's doing. Then I apply a vignette. Some people do this in Lightroom. I prefer to do it in Photoshop because I get better control. And with the vignette here, what I've done is I've only really applied it around the bottom corners and the top right. I wanted to preserve that light coming in from the top there. So just a subtle vignette there, a couple of layers. And that's it. That's the entire setup in Photoshop. Obviously my branding, I've got at the top and bottom there. And that's the complete shot. So pretty simple, not much to it. As I say, most of this was captured straight out of the camera. So you can see, you know, that's where I started from in terms of what the camera gave me, and then applying these 3 sets of treatments gives me the final image. So I hope that's helpful. As I say, if you want to learn more about the individual techniques in this, focus stacking, color grading, dodging and burning, vignetting, many other videos on the channel, so look in the description below for more information on those techniques. Don't forget to subscribe to us for more videos in the future, and head over to ToyShooter.com for more tutorials, info, and I'll see you in the next video.